sparkly.
I'm bubbly.
And together, we're Mineragua.
The fresh, sparkling water for those who are bubbling over with life.
And crave new experiences.
Are you thirsty for adventure, more laughs, and more excitement?
With Mineragua in hand, it's easy to live life with sparkle.
Just look for the glass bottles with tiny bubbles wrapped in blue.
And you'll taste and feel the difference of Mineragua sparkling water.
Mineragua, get your fizz.
This is the men's room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Raise your console. It's our standing by. We'll take caller 9 at 844-999 Ola, and you'll play profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, an elderly couple got lost and drove through 3 states over 5 days before they were found.
That's beyond lost, man. All right, you know what I mean? Like, lost is, God damn it, man, I can't find this one exit on the highway, not 5 days later. I think at that point, like, that's dementia.
And what point do you turn around when you pass that third sign that says, "Welcome to Florida"?
Right. At some point, you go like, you know what, baby? I'm not great with directions, but I know where we're going is not in this state.
Is this one of those cases where let's go get lost in the country?
No. Old people don't do stuff like that because it may or may not happen.
A serious case of 2 people with dementia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
now I think they're going to take the keys away.
Bad offense, but the blind leading the blind, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to go someplace, and they really thought they could do it. It's just the point in time.
They went a lot of places.
Probably. I mean, look, they didn't wreck the car.
Right. Well, and they did what elderly couples do. They put the cell phone away and then forget about it and never actually think to call anybody who's trying to call them over the 5 days.
What they do, my dad does this, and he's old, is they turn the thing off.
Yes.
Only turn it on when he needs to use it.
Yep. Nobody can reach you.
By state 4, they would need it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's the damnedest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Nobody calls me anymore.
Could you imagine you could turn your phone off at home back in the day before that? You would have never had a phone ring.
Yeah.
Right.
Frozen avocado chunks are coming to a grocery store's freezer section soon.
And you can't buy an avocado and freeze the bitches yourself.
Right. Because we hate ourselves.
I mean, come on. I understand why you buy ice. It's because they sell more ice than you're likely to be able to produce. But it's an avocado chunk, man.
Are you supposed to heat them up like one of those steam fresh bags?
No, Ted, you're supposed to leave them in the freezer so that they're tortured to death and then you throw their ass away.
Ice, baby.
That's right on the packaging.
That's right.
Torture these avocados.
Torture these avocados
and throw them away, yeah.
I've been waiting for this day.
Freeze and burn your ass.
Wait and watch them shiver. A woman has been sending a survey to men who ghost her to get feedback on why they didn't want to date her.
Because I figured you'd be someone to do things like send me a survey.
Right. You sent me a survey after we went on a date? I mean, holy
Because
Christ.
you crazy.
I almost cussed there.
I think she actually dated these people for like a month or 2. Then,
okay. All right.
Then got ghosted.
Then send out the survey. Ghost survey.
Yeah, but how big is your sample size? That's the other question. How many people
in college?
Oh, all right.
I do like that one of the questions was like, would you revisit again?
So the answer is because I'm in college.
Yeah, I was going to say your answer. We know.
Because we're doing the same thing. We're dating multiple people.
I will say, let's just put a stop to ghosting right here and right now. It's a cowardly thing. Quit ghosting people. Just say no.
What happened?
No, thank you.
What happened?
Somebody ghosted
He doesn't know.
Ghosting hurts.
Because we got ghosted.
Was it the woman who fired you from the pool job?
No.
Never heard from her again?
She actually had the gonads enough to tell me that I was fired. She didn't just lock the door.
Well, she's a woman with gonads.
She tried to follow you on Twitter?
Say what?
Did she try to follow you on Twitter?
No. Tried to friend me on Facebook.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did you block her?
Damn right.
Yeah. Wow. Bitter. Bitter.
Yeah, I'm still bitter about that. You know I am.
You think so?
Can't blame a Tumbo over here having a block party.
It's a block party weekend.
Right?
Here's 4 from Fleetwood Mac.
Ruined me.
Yeah.
A study
Hope
found...
you get chlorine in your eyes. In the swimming pool.
Not a euphemism.
That's savage. A study found selfish people have fewer kids and make less money.
Yeah, because they're selfish. They don't want to share anything with anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, like if I make a box of mac and cheese, all right, and if it's just me, I can eat the whole thing. If there's 4 people around me, I got to share.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who they are.
You know what kids are? Kids are like that one weird fish that hangs out with the shark. Like every time you see the shark, there's the fish right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't matter where the shark goes. the fish is there. The shark could be in a fight with another shark. The fish hangs out. And why? Because when the shark eats, it just eats what's left. That is what kids are. They're always hovering around your plate.
And they're looking at you like, I want a butter ice cream sandwich. And then they put their nasty-ass mouth all over it.
Right, man. The way the kids handle something.
It's always like having to share your food for life. That's what kids are. Having to share your food for life.
So it's people that don't have kids or don't want them.
I don't want them. They're selfish.
They have fewer kids is what it is.
I didn't realize how selfish I was until I had kids.
Then you understand.
Like, man, I really wanted to eat that whole damn burger.
Right.
Looking back,
I knew I'm never going to finish these fries by myself without someone else's help.
Thank God you're here.
Thank you.
Thrill found this the other day. A woman tried to use counterfeit $100 bills here in Washington State that had bright pink Chinese letters printed on the design.
Come on, man.
It was quite obviously counterfeit.
They were like 25% the size of the bill. They take up an entire corner. And they're like bright pink and blue. Like, who did you think was going to take this from? Oh, she got one of them Chinese $100 bills.
Yeah.
They call that yen.
It looks like a prop that a Chinese company made.
Right.
Feel like a millionaire.
Right. With some fake money.
And you don't even need a little pen for that one.
Right.
Yeah, we ain't going to look up to the light.
There's a flaming hole in the ground in a town in Arkansas, and no one knows the cause.
His name is Jim.
But they've ruled out a meteorite and Satan.
Okay, well.
I'll tell you what. We don't know. We fracked, though.
It's not
Actually,
Satan.
Mike, that's where Cheetos come from.
That's exactly right.
That's where Flaming Hot Cheetos come from.
They call that a Cheetos blossom.
There's a coal seam that's been on fire in Pennsylvania for God knows how long.
Like 60 years?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it shoots a blue flame or anything out of the top, but I know it's smoky. Smoky dance.
Smoky. Thank you, Mr. President.
Sleeping.
The fire is very smoky.
Sleeping on it before you make a big decision really does work, according to a new study.
Yeah, no kidding.
The researchers found that when people took 90-minute naps, it actually helped their brains get organized and clear. What do you know? When you reset the computer, it actually works a little bit better.
Well, it's like, look, if you're at a job interview and they offer you the job, say, hey, man, give me 90 minutes. I'm going to take a quick nap. I'll let you know when I wake up.
Yeah, just like going to a counselor or going and talking to your priest or going and praying or anything like that. If you take the weight off of your shoulders and you present it to someone else, thinking that they can help you with that problem, give your time to be rational about the problem, and then you deal with it, you're going to make a better decision. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's all the same mechanism.
How much time do you spend watching TV when you're on vacation?
Hopefully none.
Dad?
No, I watch TV when I'm on vacation.
All right.
I'll watch sporting events if it's a team that I care about, and I'll watch late night TV to catch up on whatever I missed during the day because I wasn't watching television.
Thrill any TV on vacation?
No.
According to a new survey, the average American spends 7 hours and 42 minutes watching TV during a 1-week vacation.
That's fair.
All right, an hour a day.
Yeah, that's not bad.
An hour
just
a
to
day.
catch up, make sure you're not losing your mind.
I always end up watching Seth Meyers.
I know, I found that.
Like, I don't stay up that late, I guess, generally, but when I'm on vacation, like, I'll text Mike, like, dude, Seth's actually pretty
That's because
funny.
you're coming home from a bar at 12:30 because you're on vacation.
No. I mean, like, even when I went to Crater Lake, like, I was just sitting in my hotel room, like, I kept swimming, and then I literally was texting Mike, like, dude, I'm sitting here watching blah, blah, blah.
A U.S. postal worker was on his route in New Jersey last month when apparently he just decided to quit right in the middle of a shift. So he just dumped a bunch of mail by the side of the road, and a picture of it's going viral.
I've had it.
You know who's only angry about that?
Old people.
Advertisers.
Why?
Not the people looking for that mail, man.
Advertisers, don't be upset. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. You spend however much money you want to spend, right? You mail these things to us, and then universally, we all take this stuff and put it in recycling or start our fireplace.
You know what, Steve?
But we don't read it.
Maybe they wanted 10% off at Bed Bath & Beyond for the 9 millionth consecutive weekend.
Then walk around your house, say Bed Bath & Beyond out loud, wait an hour, turn on your computer.
I'm thoroughly convinced that Bed Bath & Beyond should just do like the going out of business rug sale people. Just put it right up there. 10% off all the time. No need to bring in that annoying coupon. We're Bed Bath & Beyond.
I tell you, though, man, that place adds up quick. Take that coupon in.
Yeah, but just make it a permanent thing. Right. Anytime you go into Bed Bath & Beyond, 10% off.
You know it. We know it.
We don't need to mail this crap to you.
Let's be dudes here. Candles get expensive.
Police in Minnesota have been getting multiple calls about people that have had birds flying into their window, and all of them are exuding the same behavior. Apparently, all the birds are acting. You know what? I'm going to tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Wow. Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are coming up 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile
Ask Steve
This.
to throw can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola.
Hola. All right, Chris, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes.
Fantastic. Let's take I-5 and go to Sacramento, California, where officials there, they say that a man escaped arrest by stealing a department vehicle. Now, the 40-year-old man, he was in the back of the vehicle in handcuffs, but he was able to maneuver to the front seat of the vehicle and ultimately stole it. Now, officers chased the vehicle until the man abandoned it at a Food Max parking lot. And then he disappeared into a nearby neighborhood. Now, a witness there, one Andres Hernandez, he says he was pouring concrete on the block when he says the suspect confronted him and asked him for help, but he said he declined to help after he noticed the guy was wearing handcuffs. I like that he noticed he was wearing handcuffs. Oh, a very subtle thing. That was a sharp eye. But the suspect was on probation for being a felon in possession of a firearm. But a couple hours later, the Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies, they did manage to find him. He's hiding in an apartment not too far away from where he ran from officers. He now faces additional charges, including possession of methamphetamine, identity theft, and vehicular theft. Do you believe that this cunning genius is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
I want to say that he's black, but I think he might be Mexican just because of the location.
Where was it at again?
Sacramento, California.
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think he tried to escape, which means he has no respect for authority.
Yeah.
And he was successful.
Yeah. For a while.
He asked someone else to help him. But he's in cuffs, and that guy wouldn't help him.
Yeah.
And he's got meth. I think he's white.
I'm with you, dude.
So
I think he's white based on all those things, and I think the meth is the one tell. But I just think the guy's
I
white.
agree with you with the he asked for help. I feel like that's what some white guy would do.
And he's in cuffs asking for help, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he did not get out of the cuffs, but he did steal the car, which is amazing.
But he had
How'd you
meth,
do that?
so he was probably not thinking straight about that.
Oh, yeah, so were the cuffs in front?
That's the only thing I can assume.
I mean,
Go white, dude.
Yeah, because he can dislocate his shoulder somehow, whatever, spin that thing all the way around. All right, Chris, you want to go white? Final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go white.
Okay, we're going to find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Profile This takes us to Sacramento, California.
Uh-huh.
Hello, 98 Rock. This is on you.
What's wrong with you?
Man escapes arrest. He's already under arrest. He's in handcuffs, but he ends up stealing the vehicle anyway. Okay.
By the way, it should be noted, when he and I'm just adding this, when he stole the vehicle, he did put on 98 Rock to listen to us. I think that should be noted in this story.
Is he cuffed behind his back?
I assume he's cuffed on the front.
How does
I mean,
he get his hand? Okay, right.
Well, he's got to be cuffed in the front if he stole
like,
the car.
look, man, because I don't even care if you're a cop. If you're cuffed behind your back, still steal a car and drive it backwards, so to speak. If I'm a cop, I don't watch you drive because that's just damn impressive. So let's assume it was up front.
You can't get over it.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, he steals the vehicle that he's cuffed in. Goes down the road, jumps out, and then asks a guy who was doing some maintenance work if he could help him. He recognizes that he's in a jail outfit and does not do so, but he calls the cops. And he was eventually found later on and arrested.
He did not notice. The guy was not in the jail outfit. He had the handcuffs.
Okay.
That was the giveaway.
Right.
Which, again, being in front of his body.
It's just something kinky.
Hey, but, that can help? Yeah, never mind. But, Chris, we asked you, did you believe this guy was black, white, Mexican, or Asian? And in the end, you went white. And let's face it, methamphetamine, all that kind of thing. But now, he was black.
Ah, sorry, Chris.
See, the methamphetamine threw everything
really did.
off, right?
That was
and it was the last detail they put in the stories. Even when I read it, I'm like, I ought to go with this one because meth, that just says white.
Now
Like
for all
lemon
TV
pepper.
news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
I don't want to defend it, but Rick Ross loves lemon pepper chicken wings.
Does he love lemon pepper? Why do
Yeah.
you know that?
Because I saw a special with him on Viceland, the TV channel, and I thought it was so cool. He put in his order, and he was like, I want 24 lemon pepper wings, all flats.
Damn, all right. My man knows what he likes.
He also owned the chicken wing joint.
Okay, that goes...
Yes, a little easy. It's going to be that specific.
Let's see here. So there's a new poll out, right, that had the most offensive shows of all time. Mm-hmm. Now, this won't shock you, but don't worry. But South Park won for most offensive show, right? Got 30.7% of the vote. Now, all of us in here have one episode that I think we think is our favorite. It's obviously very offensive. Keep in mind, Randy Marsh is on the Wheel of Fortune. So there's only one letter missing. All right? And he makes a bad call and gets known as that guy for a while.
Category is people who annoy you. Audience, keep quiet, please. 10 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
I know it, but I don't think I should say it.
5 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
All right, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Huh? Oh, naggers, of course. Naggers.
Of course.
Right.
Can we cut to,
So, the Metro Facebook page has the other offensive shows on there. But South Park wasn't done. Because a new poll came out that had who's the most offensive characters. Eric Cartman won that one.
Well, sure.
Now, I'll tell you
he's
today,
the antagonist.
Mike and I went online for a decent amount of time trying to find a Cartman thing to use, and like that one seems aggressive. Cartman stuff I was like, I'm not playing that.
Right, you can't.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing?
And it's only funny again because it's a small child cartoon.
In the context of what he's saying, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, the context of what they do makes sense. There's obviously more to that particular episode we just played, and when you watch it, it's exceptionally poignant. One of the things I find crazy now, and I read this morning, all right? So South Park does what South Park does, and I guess they did an episode about, the priest in the Catholic Church basically is having their way with kids because that's what they do. They get protected, etc. This is not news to anyone. So they put out this episode, and obviously the Catholic Church does have a response. This is what's mind-blowing, just to give you an idea of how far South Park's come. So whoever the guy is that represents the Catholic of America, he says, hey, man, the problem that we have, well, they called South Park a group of cowards. Not for poking fun at the Catholic Church, but it was an inaccurate, and again, I'm not saying this. This is what the Catholic Church said. It's an inaccurate portrayal of what's been going on because they make it sound like these priests molest kids, when in fact, 85% of our priests molest adolescents. That was this morning. I read this like,
Yeah,
so man, oh man, right? So they were like,
So
"Hey,
it's just hairs,
hey, man,
splitting the hairs on
that's
the
exactly.
age."
They weren't saying, "Hey, try not to do this. We're having a tough enough time."
Well, at least they know the
response, and I give them credit. Like, at least you've come far enough to admit with the worst kept secret on earth. Like, yeah, we molest people, all right, but they're adolescents, not kids. You're making us look bad. Yes, that's South Park's fault that you look bad.
No, we all demographics.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, think about that. Like, that's your defense.
No, that's just their
We've come a long way.
Yeah. Like, hey, look, man, you're targeting the wrong guys. The kids, I should say.
It's adolescents, not kids.
Kind of interesting. Eric Cartman was the most offensive character with 18% of the vote.
Complete anti-Semite.
And then followed up by Archie Bunker, Peter Griffin, Roseanne Barr, Al Bundy, Donald Trump, Stewie Griffin.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, it's all the people you'd expect, right?
Yeah, and you're right. Like, Archie Bunker, whenever I've seen it, like, he's kind of like that episode of South Park. Like,
he was Eric Cartman grown up.
Yeah, and it's almost like he's racist to make a point about it.
Well, the difference is when Eric Cartman says something about the chairs or whatever, it's a cartoon character. You know, when Carol O'Connor did it, he's doing
as a real life person.
As a person who's like, Dad, you know, like, and he's just, and that's the character who he is. I don't care, sitting in my chair, you know.
Yeah. Well,
so to me, that was a little bit more, not shocking, but it was more real.
Oh, and shocking, because back then you could have an honest conversation. People cry and whine about everything now, right? Your spine has been replaced by Jell-O, and we have to deal with it. So in the day, you didn't have to agree. For whatever reason, people think it's so important to agree. Who cares? But you could at least have a conversation, and that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
You can still have a civil, you don't have to agree about anything, but you could at least have a civil conversation.
Because the conversation, wasn't in the world.
Yeah.
Still not.
Right.
Still not.
In the heat of the night.
Oh, wow.
That's what I remember.
Well, you forget that 10-year difference. Yeah, you got a completely different version of that guy.
Remember what In the Heat of the Night was about?
He turned into a cop.
Right.
I never watched that.
I mean, it's just a reverse side, but yeah.
Exactly. Still racist, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was based on, was it the novel, movie, play, whatever the hell it was, but yeah, it's...
Now I'm a cop. In this way.
Now I'm a racist cop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, hey,
what are you two young men doing in this neighborhood?
You find your niche and you go with it.
Hey, man, he excelled. It was weird, though, as a kid, like you'd see an interview with him or something, and it was like the nicest guy. Yeah. Like, he didn't offend me as a kid, but you recognize him as the grumpy. And when I was growing up, he was every other neighbor you had anyway, right? So, but then you see him in an interview, and you're like, Mom, he seems nice. My mom's like, he's an actor. Jesus Christ.
Who's the guy that's like a real good actor that was just like the horrible Nazi and Inglourious Bastards?
Chris Waltz? I can't remember to say his name. Yeah.
But he's one of those, I know he's a good actor, but he was so kind of evil in that movie.
Evil.
I have a hard time, looking at him.
But people love him in Hollywood,
he's a great
too.
Actor.
They're like, dude, he's great to work with. He's easy to work with. He's exceptionally professional, very encouraging. You hear this stuff. But then when they show a clip, and they deaf to Jews? Yeah. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah, man.
That's a bit much.
It is. It's tough. It's like when you see a good actor who's always a good guy. It was like when Denzel came out with Training Day. It was shocking.
Oh, yeah.
Like Denzel had always been kind of the hero, and now he's just not.
But he's still kind of the same person.
But your wife still wanted to sleep with him.
I meant nothing. That meant good, bad. I just want me some Denzel D.
When you guys were in school, like everybody has their favorite teacher.
We didn't have history class. Fine, Ted.
We were doing it.
We were creating the next subject for y'all.
But you might have a teacher you liked or a teacher you hated.
Yep.
And did you have a weird teacher?
Oh, always.
Many. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes teachers lose their mind. But
this past Dooch, everything was nifty.
Everything was nifty?
Everything was, isn't this nifty?
Then he's a cannibal or something.
He's a science.
If you say nifty, I don't trust
He taught science. So everything's, isn't this amazing? When they come together, what do they get? Oxygen. We need that. Isn't that nifty?
Oh, that kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bob Ross of science.
Oh, yeah. He was so excited about it. He was the perfect guy to teach it.
Jimmy Fallon had a pretty funny thing. People tweeted in about their weird teachers.
Now I'd like to share some of my teacher is weird stories from you guys. Here we go. This first one is from Marcus Silva, 73. He says, Thriller came out when I was in third grade. My teacher learned to moonwalk, and if you had a question, he'd moonwalk across the room to your desk. This one's from at Matt Ioro. He says, a former teacher of mine once answered the phone in the middle of class, had a conversation in Russian, then rushed out of the classroom. He never came back. What? I have the documents. Meet me in the cafeteria.
Your cover is blown.
This one's from at Jmar Genius. He says, my English teacher had a prosthetic leg, and when kids fell asleep in class, he'd take it off and slam it on their desk to wake them up.
Come on, shake a leg.
This one's from at Doug E. Ben 090900. He says in college, our math professor leaned on the ledge of an open first floor window while lecturing, accidentally fell out of the window. Mid-sentence, he reappeared through the classroom door minutes later and kept lecturing as though it didn't even happen.
Play it and play it.
This one's from Lola B. She says, one time I had a Mars bar sitting on my desk. My high school math teacher grabbed it, threw it on the floor, stood on it, and yelled, look, a man on Mars. There you have it. There's our Tonight Show hashtag.
I had a teacher once, right? Like, you know, you have homeroom in the beginning?
Yeah.
So you get in there, shocking. High school, I was a little bit late getting there. But as I get into homeroom, right, there's just this voice in the back of the room that's like, get down. I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? So I kind of get down. I notice everybody else in my class is already under their desk, right? And I'm like, what is going on? It's like, there's a bat in the hallway. It already came in. And it was like...
Times have changed on the get down.
No. Used to just be a bat in the hallway.
Right.
But you can imagine half the class... Like, I was like, all right, whatever, it's a bat. The other half of the class was like, there's a bat out there.
Yeah, right, the freak.
That lady, man, and she was such a good teacher, but she was scared to death of that bat.
Yeah. We had a teacher, Mr. Roscoff, ninth grade, and he was one of the nicest teachers we had. He was the only teacher that did not hate everyone in our class. We had kind of a bad class, but he any adult can typically see through a kid's BS, and he did. And so you kind of repaid it in kind. We were generally good. And we had effed up in an entirely different class. But he hears wind of it. It was a very, very bad thing that happened in this other class. But he gets wind of this. So he was our final period of the day, and he just lays into us, right? And at this time, he's maybe 36 years old. None of us realized that he had dentures. Nobody, okay? So as he is screaming at the class, and we truly feel bad because this guy's never yelled at. He's the only guy that's kind of give you a break. And we deserved it, and he's just crushing us on this. And it was kind of like a werewolf movie where, like, when you turn into a werewolf, like your gums extend. Okay, because his teeth, they didn't like fall out. They started sliding down real slow. So as he's screaming and his speech is getting a little slushy, right? Because all of a sudden, all you guys are sounding 50. But we're looking at this. But so at first, no one's sure, like, are his gums getting bigger? Because to us, he's turning into a werewolf, right? So his gums are getting bigger, and everyone in the class no one's laughing, but everyone's looking at each other like, oh my God, and just we're about to freak out. Because it's not like an inch and a half of gum, right? So we were convinced, like, this dude is a monster. But then the top plate fell out, hit the floor. He was so embarrassed, right? And he snatches these things up. He sits down at his desk. He doesn't say anything. Nobody laughs. It's about 30 seconds. And the biggest goddamn clown in our class, this guy, Lamont Gray, he was difficult, but he was funny. But it's the only time I've seen any humanity with this kid. So remember, he looks at Mr. Roscoff and he just says, man, it's okay. Right? That was it. Nobody said another word.
Nobody laughed?
Nobody laughed at this guy.
Wow.
Because he was a good guy. He treated, like, if you went to Baltimore City schools, this is all you hear. You suck! You're going to die or go to jail! That's all the time, constantly, right? This guy felt a little different about things, and he would kind of repeat that to you, so it felt good. But it was a weird, like, 45 seconds, like, this mother effer is actually a monster. His gums are growing in front of us. I'm like, oh, it's just, nobody laughed, though. Not a single person.
Well, and that's part of high school, too, right? Like, I feel like in high school, like, you get to a point where, like, the teachers are like...
You're almost peer.
Right, like I remember
they'll start treating you as an adult.
And, I mean, T just, that's what we called the one guy, like, and T just chewed us out for like 15 minutes. But it was like...
You felt bad because you deserved it, right?
Right, exactly. And it didn't seem that out of line because, like, we were like seniors, right? Sure. And he was just like, you guys are idiots. Like, why would you do that?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is the worst. It still is. Right? And then I think he even threw in a poignant, like, and we have the president of the senior class in this one.
Yeah. Mine is like...
I'm not going to say my name, bro.
Mine was always just like... T, we get it. Everybody knows I'm the president of this class.
I am so disappointed.
Yeah, disappointment always sucked.
Dude, I dropped that once on my kids, and they seemed so crushed, I felt bad. I just kind of wanted to end the situation. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I'm just disappointed. And you could almost like feel the temperature drop, the air leave the room, and it's like, I have just devastated them. I don't let them dwell. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it works. It does. Because I wasn't really that disappointed. I was annoyed.
Because you know what? You're expecting much more, and I'm just going to say that I thought you were better people.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I felt bad that I just crushed the soul.
I guess you guys are just the jackasses that I'm going to have to.
I thought I raised it better. Okay. That's what it is.
But you're better people than that. Wait, I hope your grandmother never finds you.
You go cry in the room for 20 minutes now and think that I hate you.
So cry and run away.
I'll go drink a beer, too, and smoke a bong yet.
Miles, good news for you. I know you were kind of worried about the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
God, you've never shut up about
it. Because she's so hot.
Well, is it right? You didn't want to do it. You love the original. You're a purist.
I'm a buffer.
Yeah, a buffer. I've heard that about you.
I'm a buff slayer.
A buffer on the set.
I'm buff.
Good news. Your favorite actress, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she supports the new reboot. So you can stop hating on it.
Oh, no way. She's a buffer, too.
Yeah, she's the original buffer. So does David Boreanaz, who obviously was on the first show.
No. Need a job.
Boreanaz. It's the last thing you... Isn't it Boreanaz? Hey, Mr. Boreanaz. That's how they say it right.
It's Boreanaz.
Oh, Boreanaz.
Oh, Boreanaz.
Yeah, I bet you it's really Boreanaz. Say honest, please.
It could be. He's a bad person.
Hey, Boreanaz.
Mm-hmm. Wow, look, they both support Buffy coming back, the reboot.
Bring back the buffers.
All your buffers out there.
Buff heads.
Great news. Buff bums.
Buff nuggets.
I think they're buff heads.
Buff heads.
Yeah, put a sheen on it.
Oh, man. So Conan O'Brien, his show, they found out, like, he's just having trouble on TBS, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and Miles, we've talked about this. Like, sometimes I almost forget he's there.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
And for whatever reason, like, even with HBO, like, I'm kind of trained to know on, like, Friday night they're going to have, like, Bill Maher. There's going to be a talk show on Sunday night. Same thing with, like, Showtime.
11 is a tough time.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching Trevor Noah, you're probably watching Trevor Noah.
Right. So, basically, Conan's show has been cut down to half an hour, so they had to say goodbye to the band.
What?
Yeah, the basic cable band. They're gone.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well,
I mean, I get it.
Well, the whole idea
but
is
the
to be
problem
done
is,
with
like,
each show.
the monologue and like the interaction with the band, there just won't be enough time. It's only going to be 30 minutes.
Basically, from what I understand, they're cutting this down from how Carson Daly used to come out if you were drunk or drug addict and up at 1:30 in the morning, and his show used to come on. He used to come out and do stand-up. And then he
realized he's not funny.
And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I've got to change the way that I do my show. They nothing similar about how they're changing the way those shows go, but Conan is changing the way he does a show.
Yeah, and when he's on the road, people eat it up. And you're right, Carson Daly just now, like, sits, or I don't know if it's still on.
He just goes out and interviews.
He's just like,
oh, no, it's on. I woke up with a cat screaming at me last night. He's definitely on.
Yeah, he's just sitting in a bar, like, talking to a band.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is up? How have you progressed? What kind of strings do you use? I'm trying to put people to sleep, you understand?
That's why I'm out so late.
I have to have the most mundane, dumb interview ever. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. All right, Mike's got your headlines coming up here in minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Kentucky Hickey King is sentenced for burglary and rehab for 5 long years. Meanwhile, hundreds of phone calls come into a marine mammal center, and the culprit will leave you in tears. To Sweden, where girl finds 1,500-year-old sword in a lake. In Minnesota, many birds will have a horrible hangover when they awake. And Rhode Island Attorney General candidate wins the Ugliest Man Alive Award. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
All right, our top story, picking up where we left off. Police in Minnesota have been getting a lot of calls from people that have had birds fly into their windows, all having the same description of the bird's behavior. They all seem drunk, which I don't know what a drunk bird looks like, but I'm guessing a lot of very wavy flying.
It appears
all you need to know is that to a bird, when it's drunk, you look fine.
Based on the number of lakes, I guess, or the migration patterns or whatever's going on, maybe they just have a lot of birds there. But when the Vikings built their new stadium, there's this the whole facade of one side of that stadium is glass. So they have a group of people that just go every morning,
scrape up all the bodies,
scooper, and just pick up all the dead every single day.
As sad as it sounds, this is not a very rare occurrence. Due to the early frost, berries in the area froze earlier than usual, causing their starch to turn to sugar, which ferments the berry while they thaw.
Do you think the birds are happy about that? Like,
yes.
Sweet,
frost!
Yeah.
Making the birds drunk off their asses while flying around.
Very good times.
Sweet, bitch.
Authorities told people that most of them will sober up in no time. I was wondering, if it's a bunch of crows that have been eating these berries, is that a drunk murder?
Oh, drunk murder.
Murder of crows.
In other news, we stay in Minnesota, where some say they may have found the new rightful queen of Sweden. An 8-year-old girl was playing in a nearby lake where she usually plays by crawling on her hands and knees, grabbing at the rocks below her. This particular time, the girl ran her hand over something in the mud that felt like a handle. The young girl pulled the handle out, and out of the mud came a 1,500-year-old sword.
How did that not decompose?
After all that metal. Time. It's just rusted, man.
You would think, but in a lake, you'd think it would just, you know what I mean? Like it would turn to dust.
I mean, there's only so much you can do before it just turns to iron. Now it's just this piece of rusted iron.
They were actually saying it was really well preserved.
I figured the whole thing got oxidized.
It did.
What's a magical sword, dude? Yeah. She gets to be the new queen of Sweden.
Right.
Because keep in mind, when she found it, a unicorn dropped from the sky and she flew off.
Exactly.
Parents haven't seen her.
Lake Minnetonka.
She can make pancakes like a mofo.
Museum experts aren't sure how the sword came to be in the lake, but say it was nearly perfectly preserved. The little girl and her family have kept the sword, being that her dad is a huge Vikings fan and it looks like a Viking sword. And they have since moved to Sweden, where some are dubbing her their rightful queen.
Yeah, I am your queen.
All that really happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweden, or like she's the queen now?
On a whim?
I don't know.
She pulled some magic sword out of the whatever, man.
My journalism doesn't dive into people's motives for moving, Miles.
Okay, all right. Normally it's a job.
The Hickey King is back in the news again. You may remember the story from a year ago when he was arrested and sporting a neck full of, wait for it, hickeys.
I just want to suck on your neck, Daryl.
I'm a neck sucker.
I love just sucking your neck.
He's back in the news again, this time pleading guilty to burglary and criminal mischief. He was placed in a 5-year diversion program and told to enter a rehab facility once a spot came available.
His crimes weren't that bad. It was the fact that his mugshot was just so ridiculous with like 900 hickeys all over his neck that you just go like,
I am the hickey.
That's the only reason why he's back.
Exactly. Like he didn't really do anything that bad, but the mugshot's like, oh my God, who would do that to anybody?
An animal hospital in
Get it,
Hawaii
playa?
was put into a panic recently after they received multiple calls from a marine mammal center nearby. The calls came so frequently that the facility received 9 calls within 15 minutes, all of which were met with an eerie silence on the end of the line. Fearing something terrible, the hospital director rushed over to the facility to find the source. When she went into the laboratory, she found the culprit. She tweeted, quote, "There's a gecko sitting on the touchscreen of the phone making calls with his tiny gecko feet."
Oh, so I was right. The nature minute's over. It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
That's it for headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Your guess is as good as mine next time, along with a random question, the return of the word, and men's room rules, bitches.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, we be all about this bad. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
Sparkly.
I'm bubbly.
And together, we're Mineragua.
The fresh, sparkling water for those who are bubbling over with life
and crave new experiences.
Are you thirsty for adventure, more laughs, and more excitement?
With Mineragua in hand, it's easy to live life with sparkle.
Just look for the glass bottles with tiny bubbles wrapped in blue.
And you'll taste and feel the difference of Mineragua sparkling water.
Mineragua, get your fizz.